Kimberly. How you doing? All right. So thank you so much for submitting your work. Now, the first thing I want to do is kind of just go through your writing to see if there's anything we need to address here. Thank you for this written, detailed synopsis describing your experience with the project so far. So let's go and take a look. One thing I'm concerned about is a resolution of my mass image, and we'll be replacing it soon. And I saw that you mentioned that before. So I would zoom in here, but honestly, to be completely honest with you, sometimes these JPEG renderings don't give us what we need. But I can tell you something right now. I'm not, oh yeah. Yeah, she's a little blurry. She's got some squares. She's got some pixelization. So I can see that. Yes. Okay. So I can see why you want to change that. I understand now. Plus, it's a little bit of a kind of an unusual configuration that she is um, just kind of. It's kind of unusual. The perspective is a little off because she's looking off into the distance, but the palm trees are up there. One would think that she would be looking up at the palm trees, right? So, I guess what I'm saying is there is a little bit of uncomfortable tension with the image. Plus, it seems to be a little bit pixelated. So yes, go ahead and replace that. Now, as far as the rest of the ad goes, oh, I wanted to finish addressing your writing. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm trying to keep it simple and clean. Absolutely. My main focus has been typography, which is most likely to change as we move forward. I want to use an image that took the beats, so I'm 100% happy. I want to talk about typography. I want to talk about moving forward as well. As I mentioned before, I will be replacing my mass image, but for now, I have a girl to target audience. Excuse me. Really strange. Yes, yeah, I just mentioned that. That is a little bit odd. It creates a little bit of uncomfortable visual stress and tension. So, agree with you there. I'm going to get a new. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the composition and take a look, shall we? Okay, so the first thing I see is it looks like you're using the correct typefaces. However, this is a subhead, so that should be Arial bold italic. We have Arial bold for the headline, Arial bold italic. You can use Arial bold italic for the buy one, get one, and then regular Arial for the body copy. Now, as far as typography goes, well, I'm going to take my straight edge right here, and I want to show you how to set up a margin. But right now, that margin, actually, you're pretty good. You're in pretty good alignment there, so that's excellent. So your left margin establishes the placement of the headline. That's great. But this is kind of off kilter a little bit. It's kind of shifted over, so you're kind of forcing the eye to go over here. Now, I understand. I think what the reason you're doing that is to try to create like a segue between the headline and the body copy. But you don't have to do that. What I would do is this. I would take the headline, I would move it up just a little bit, right about there. Okay? Then take the subhead and keep it about that same distance from the headline, but left align it right there. You could even use an ellipsis after the headline to continue that thought over to on to the ones you love. Okay, so again, headline, subhead, left align, ellipsis, right there, establishing that left margin and being consistent with placement of the contact information in that left margin. Okay, that I think we're lacking a little bit of contrast up here. I think that actually the ad itself is lacking in contrast. So my recommendation is to change this to the purple color. Okay, left align that. Buy one, get one, then add a little bit more space between the buy one, get one and the who doesn't love a spa day. Just a little bit of separation there. Okay, at that point, I think the rest of the ad, other than the masked image that we talked about, the rest of the ad is okay, but I would recommend a different logo here. The logo I would recommend is the purple logo. Let me show you which one I'm talking about. As soon as this opens, I will show you this one right here. This one right here. I would recommend using that logo. And the reason being is because we need a little pop of color down here. Again, I think the one thing we can say about that is it's somewhat lacking a little bit in contrast. Other than that, I think everything looks fantastic. Now, one thing you might consider right here is this type here is encroaching. I think the logo is too small. I think it should be a little bit bigger. Watch my cursor or something like this. That's going to add a problem with this type configuration right here, encroaching on the logo. One thing I would like you to do is take a look at this address right here. See how that's stacked instead of stretched horizontally, stacked vertically? Try that. That'll open up a little area for to increase the size of the logo. All right, fantastic. Now, at this point, I just want to mention that the campaign is due during week 7. So it's not during week 8, it's due during week 7, which means we have to still work out the banner ad and the animations therein. So that said, I would like to see you make these changes before we start the banner ad on Monday. If you can, that's great. If you want to repost it right here, I'll be glad to make additional comments. Or if you want to go ahead and post it in the general questions area of the discussion board, that's great there. Either way, I'll see it and I'll be able to make comments that you can apply to your final submission due up in week 7. But for the recommendations I made here, go ahead and make those adjustments. And you can still keep her in there if you want to make those adjustments, or you can go ahead and replace her now. In a perfect world, this ad would be complete and ready to go by the time we start work on the banner ad. And the reason that's important is because we are going to be using several components from this ad in the banner ad. Okay, follow me? Okay, at this point, I think the most important thing is to get with me if you have any questions at all, or if I can clarify anything I've said in the last 6 minutes in this video. Okay, great. Thank you very much.